Getting a good night's sleep can be much easier said than done. But don't worry, because our good friends at CBD MD have exactly what you need to get the sleep you deserve. CBD PM blends melatonin and other sleep-promoting ingredients with 500 milligrams of high-quality CBD to create a powerful and effective sleep aid. And to make it even easier to get the year started off right, they're offering all our listeners 25% off your next order when you use the promo code NBA at checkout. Once again, that's cbdmd.com. The promo code's NBA for 25% off your purchase of superior CBD products from CBDMD. Guys, on today's show, we're recapping the 3 games from Tuesday in depth about the fantasy ramifications of those contests. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. And you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_Beeble, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. If you haven't seen it, on the YouTube channel, I am doing an NBA 2K21 Orlando Magic rebuild. I am 4 years in to that rebuild. You can go and check out those videos there, see how I approach the current roster, see what I did to build them up. And year 5 is going to be coming out, I think it's coming out at 8 a.m. Friday morning, US time, Eastern time, which is midnight Australian time Friday night. So you can go and check out the 5th installment, year 5 of the Orlando Magic rebuild. So let's talk, though, about games across the NBA. On Thursday, there was only 3 of them, so let's start with the first one of those games. And the first one of those games was the Toronto Raptors and the Milwaukee Bucks. I thought the Bucks would learn from the last time they played each other and they'd get the win here, but no, it was just as ugly. The Raptors blow them out 110-96. This time they did it on an increased difficulty level without Kyle Lowry. Pascal Siakam played 38 minutes. Actually, let's talk starting lineups because they went small again. I thought, okay, Lowry's out. They'll just put Aaron Baines in and that's it. But no, they didn't. They put DeAndre Bembry in to start. And not only did they start DeAndre Bembry, they played him 37 minutes. 37 minutes. Let's start with Bembry. Now, he didn't do jack shit in that time, 5, 2, and 4. Lowry is going to be out again for Friday, so maybe Bembry gets another start there, but you're only looking at streaming him in very deep leagues, but very interesting stuff. Siakam had 27, 6, and 5. He had a steal. He had 2 blocks. And again, just another example why inside the NBA is shithouse. It's terrible. Shaq didn't claim, he either didn't know Pascal Siakam's first name, or he's acting like he didn't know Pascal Siakam's first name. Now, I don't know who finds it funny. And people who think, oh, it's just entertainment, but it is a terrible look for the league. It's a horrible look for the league to have your flagship halftime pre-game show dislike the league they're covering, hate the modern players, talk shit about them, and actually not watch anything. For as entertaining as it might be in terms of comedy, This is advertising the league, and then you fuel all the other bullshit. Mate, the regular season means nothing. Who cares about the NBA? People don't even watch it. It fuels that bullshit talk, which is absolutely false. Siakam was pretty good. 2 blocks, 2 threes, 27 points, 7 of 7 from the line, no worries. Storm and Norman Powell, man, flying. 31 minutes, 29 points. He cannot miss at the moment. 75% shooting, 4 threes, 2 steals. I would be advocating a sell high on Norman Powell. If he's a top 50 player over the last 2 weeks. Now, you're probably not going to be able to get a top 50 player back. In fact, I'm pretty sure you won't. But can you get a top 60 guy back? Maybe. Remember how shit he was to begin this year? I don't know whether they'll continually go small. And that's what, and they might. That's why I wouldn't be selling him for anything outside the top 100 or probably outside the top 90. But even the current level that he's at is probably a level too far. 43 fantasy points for Norm. Freddie VanVleet had 39 of those. He had 17 points in 40 minutes with 8 assists. This was a blowout, yet Siakam played 38 minutes and VanVleet played 40. And again, you can't predict Boucher's minutes. It's impossible. 22 minutes, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. He played, 30 minutes last game? This is what's going to happen. He's just going to be all over the shop, and he's going to settle into a 50 to 75 type ranking range. Just 23 fantasy points here. The Jedi, OG Anunoby.
But what about scarves?
OG.
Balenciaga
Stop,
ones.
OG. You better stop, OG.
Only 27 minutes as he returns from his calf injury. Look, let me be clear about this. Anunoby is a must-roster player in all leagues, and I've heard some people tell me that he's still on their waiver wire. He's a must-roster player. 10 and 7 in 27 minutes, some poor shooting, but he's going to be better than this. And then we had Baines have 6 points in his 15 minutes. Only the deepest of deep leagues should be paying any attention to Aaron Baines, and I don't think it's changing much. Stanley Johnson, Terrence Davis, both out of the rotation here, while Malachi Flynn played 5 minutes. Remember, he played a G League game earlier today. I'd expect him to play a much larger role in the action for Friday's game for the Raptors. For the Bucks, 20 minutes only again for Brook Lopez. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. He actually produced okay, but the minutes continue to be down. For Brook, he is the 150th ranked player over the last 2 weeks. Again, I've said this for him a few times. I think in a 10-team league, you drop him, and in a 12-team points league and shallower, you drop him. In fact, you do this.
Get that garbage out of here!
In a 12-team category league, it's moving towards it pretty quickly. And I think that if you're struggling and you can't keep in touch with the playoffs, you might need to move on. Chris Middleton, 13, 8, and 5. Not a good game from him. While Bryn Forbes did his thing, he hit 3 threes, had 11 points with not a lot else. While Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
23 and 12, 8 assists and 2 steals for Giannis. Of course, absolutely dreadful in this one from the free throw line. He'd been improving from that area, but 54 from the line on 13 attempts is just going to kill that category for you. The big Ragu, Dante DiVincenzo, had very early foul trouble, but recovered to play 27 minutes while still only having 3 fouls. 14, 7, and 4. Nice numbers for him while Drew Holiday remains out. And so many people were so excited about Pat Connaughton. This is why you don't fall over yourself for Pat Connaughton. 7 points in 29 minutes. That 20-point game he had the other day was completely arsey. He's not going to be able to do that really consistently or ever. I found it interesting, though, in this game, Bob Portis, the guy that I've been waiting to fall off, and then I finally say, oh, screw it, maybe he's just actually pretty good now. He had 2 points in 19 minutes in a game that they lost. This was always my worry with Portis, as I've said so many times, is that when they're losing or the games are close, that his production will drop off. It's what happened here. It hadn't been happening recently. I still think we want to have him in 12-team leagues, but let's, again, just watch to see which Portis is out here. Is it the bloke that we've seen be terrible for 5 years, or is it the bloke that played well for 20 games? And that's always something I think we do have to bear in mind when considering the relative values of players when they're doing it in such a way where you go, man, why is he shooting so well? Why is his steal rate up? Why is his usage and efficiency so unbelievably high when it's never been that level for hundreds and hundreds of games in the past? Is it new scheme, or is it just a fluky hot streak? And maybe it is a fluky hot streak. I'm still holding and still trying to figure it out, but I'm the doubt creeps back in after a game like this for sure. Guys, the NFL is over, which I actually don't give a shit about, but that's fine. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all sports action. You can bet on the NBA, you can bet on college basketball, you can bet on the NHL as well. All these sports are fully going, and we've got baseball that's going to start up in a few months too. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV. I wonder if have they got odds for one division? I hope so. Real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline has you covered for all the news, scores, and odds, and it's the best way to place your bets, and it's free to sign up. Head to the website or use your mobile device, and that website is betonline.ag, or use your mobile device to sign up today, and you receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use the promo code LOCKEDON. BetOnline are your online sportsbook experts. All right, let's go on to the next game, and that is the Miami Heat beating the Sacramento Kings 118-110. Bam Adebayo triple-doubled. Had also a 0-0, but also a triple-double. Good numbers from the free throw line again. 16, 12, and 10, a perfect 4 of 4 from the line. While Butler also triple-doubled. 13, 10, and 14. Again, empty in some of those other areas, but nice numbers there. And another really good game from Tyler Hero off the bench.
Everyone has a hero. True. 0 people shouldn't have a hero. Yeah.
27 points, 2 triples. I think he's really thriving in this bench role. I would expect him to stay there even when Dragic is back. Duncan Robinson, nice game from him. 20 points with 5 threes, but more of a streamer for threes. And Kelly Olynyk, big game from Big Cal, but only 24 minutes. 22 and 7. Not much else there. A 30 usage game, which is huge from Olynyk. I wouldn't read too much into that. He's more of a streamer. While Kendrick Nunn was also pretty solid. 16 points, but it took 14 shots. And his lines are just so empty. He is a guy that you can have for 12-team leagues for sure, but Dragic coming back is going to just completely nullify his value. And if you are looking for more forward-facing type numbers, then he is going to be there are going to be better options out there, and he's going to be one of those players that I think in that sort of scenario you can consider as a drop. The Kings were playing without Rashawn Holmes and without Harrison Barnes, so they started Nemanja Bjelica. 25 and 8 in 35 minutes with 2 threes and 2 steals. A massive game, 29% usage from Bjelica. Really, really big performance. Now, if Holmes and Barnes remain out, and it doesn't look like Holmes is going to be long-term, he was ruled out and then actually warmed up and tried to play here, so I think he'll be okay. It is hard to trust anything here from Bjelica. Daquan Jeffries was awesome, I thought, in this game. 17 points, didn't miss a shot. 5 triples, didn't do too much else, but he's a name to watch for deeper leagues, while 24 minutes for Marvin Bagley yielded 19 and 10. And De'Aaron Fox struggled somewhat here, 11 points with 10 assists. Tyrese Halliburton's also in a slump. I think he's somewhat of a buy low, while Hassan Whiteside.
The world.
He was worth a stream for today, but guys, he sucks. He's terrible. He's bad. Drop him. He's been rostered in a lot of leagues. Drop him. It's simple as that. 5 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks. He sucks. Corey Joseph went back to the bench and they started Glenn Robinson. I have no idea why. I don't know why they started Joseph to begin with. Halliburton should be the guy there. But 23 minutes for Robinson for 4 points. Buddy Hield was horrendous. 5 points in 25 minutes for Bud. I think he's a buy low, but man, he's been shithouse this year. And then Halliburton just 8, 3, and 4 in his 30 minutes. You would have hoped for a little bit more from Tyrese, but he is maybe he's also somewhat of a buy low with his last couple of games performances. Nothing too spectacular happening there for Tyrese Halliburton at the moment. Built Bar is back, guys, and there's new flavors. We've got a flash sale for Built Bar. The Coconut Puff Bar. Luscious chocolate, soft marshmallow, and it's made with premium collagen protein blend. 16 grams of protein, 130 calories, and only 6 grams of sugar. It's gluten-free, and it is preservative-free. This is a limited time only 1-day sale. So get in now. Go to BuiltBar.com. Get the Coconut Puff Bar. Get your soft marshmallow, your luscious chocolate. Get that all into BuiltBar.com. They are back. New flavors. Bang. Go and hit them up. All right, let's move on to the next game now. The last game of the day. The Brooklyn Nets comfortably handle the Lakers 109-98. There was no Kevin Durant for the Nets and no Anthony Davis for the Lakers. And then just an hour or so before the game started, Dennis Schroeder was ruled out due to health and safety protocol issues. So we don't know how long he's going to be out. The future MVP... Actually, no. What am I starting with the Lakers for? Let's start with the Nets. Jim Harden, excellent. 23, 5, and 11, 2 steals and a block. You pick him at number 1. You're feeling all right at this point. Remember, there is no Kevin Durant, but he's not doing it on absolutely sky-high usage, just 24% usage here. He is the point guard on this team, 11 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Big numbers. Joe Harris was unbelievable again. Just check out his three-point shooting numbers for the year. He was 86% here, but he's at like 47% on the season. 21 points, 6 triples, not much else, but the efficiency is unbelievable. While Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot, he came in, he had a nice impact, 15 points in 27 minutes, hit 5 threes, had 2 steals, and then will go and do absolutely nothing in the games to come. So don't worry too much about that. While DeAndre Jordan played only 24 minutes, 7 and 8, and he just doesn't play that much. He's clearly a specialist for field goal percentage and rebounds, and that's all he is, not a must-roster player. Irving had 16, 7, and 5, while Jeff Green started at center and had 5 and 3 with 2 steals.
Nice, Gary!
That's the wrong button.
My name is Jeff.
That's that much better. Landry Shamet, 10 points in 19 minutes, while the Shark Bruce Brown had just 9 points in his 20. For the Lakers, Kuzma doubled, 16 and 10 and a steal and a block. Now, getting the minutes with Davis out is important, but getting some extra usage without Schroeder there is also important for his value. So maybe he's more of a short-term guy now if Schroeder misses time. LeBron had 32, 8 and 7. Pretty good night apart from the free throws, while only 20 minutes for Marc
I'm a fun guy.
What do I keep pushing for? Jeez. This is what I meant to push.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Gasol played like 30 minutes last game, but this was not a good matchup for him. 8 points, 2 threes, 2 steals, and a block. And with Gasol playing only 20 minutes, that means Montrezl Harrell played a lot, right? No, he played 15 minutes. 10 points, and it is trending very, very quickly in the wrong direction for Harrell. 2 games in a row under 20 minutes, and if they need that defense with Davis out, then he'll stay low. I'm worried about where his value goes. I'm not dropping him, but I am worried. We had Markieff Morris play some center minutes, then he got hurt. He was available to return, but the game was a blowout, so they never brought him back in. While Caruso played 26 minutes for 3 steals, and Taylor Horton-Tucker got 28 minutes. Not a great night from him, 9 points on 9 shots, but the 5 assists and a block, pretty good numbers overall. But this obviously was a banged-up Lakers team without Schroeder and Davis. It was pretty tough, and again, the Nets are without Kevin Durant, but the Nets, man, they're scary good. I think they are going to be in the NBA Finals, and they are my pick to win the title, and we'll see how that all goes. But that's the way it's looking at the moment. Let's move on now to have a look at some adds and drops over the last 24 hours. Hassan Whiteside up 15% now. That made sense for today. Only 3 games on, no Holmes, no Barnes, and he shit the bed. You can shit on him now. Well, not literally, but
Get that garbage out of here!
Marcus Sol's up 14%. I'm going to assume that's just to stream today. He has no business in 12-team leagues. Well, Jay Sean Tate up 12%. Good ad for 12s. Bryn Forbes up 11. Let's hope that's a streamer as well. While Cam Reddish up 10%. I'm not ready to say Cam Reddish is a 12-team must-roster player. He has played well the last 3 games, and if you want to get ahead of your league, by all means, make a move. But I'm not sure it's one that's going to pay off in a huge way. In terms of drops, the Oklahoma City mudflap, Kenrich Williams, is down by 13%. Justin Jackson down by 12%. Told you this guy was bad. Yep, clear drops with everyone back in OKC. Daniel Tice down 8%. People being a little bit impatient there with Vanilla Tice. I'd be scooping him back up in 12-teamers. Derrick Rose down 8%. Yeah, I can get behind dropping him. I think he's probably a hole, but I can get behind dropping him. While Carmelo Anthony down 7%. Not really a 12-team league guy anyway. The monstrous line of the night is Pascal Siakam. 27 points. 6 boards, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 triples, playing at center, hit all 7 of his free throws. He's the 16th ranked player over the last 2 weeks as well, 45th over the course of the season. Siakam has definitely stepped his game up, playing at quite a high level at the moment. The free throws are excellent. He's getting good defensive numbers, which is something which have eluded him over the last 2 years. But at the moment, they are really rolling. 1.6 steals and 1 block per game over his last 2 weeks. No rookie of the night tonight, but let's look at the top 10 players who are rostered in under 50% of leagues. Number 1, Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot. Just talked about him. That's a fluky performance. Number 2, Nemanja Bjelica. Again, needed Barnes and Holmes out. Not adding him in 12s. Marc Gasol at number 3. More of a 16-team league guy. Daquan Jeffries, a nice 20-team leaguer. Hey, on ESPN, is he available? Because remember, this is how stupid they are. He was not even available to add after he started games. I tweeted at them. I don't know if they heard that and put him in. They didn't for a couple of days after it. I am going to have a look live on air. Can I add Daquan Jeffries in an ESPN fantasy league? Yes, I can. Amazing stuff. ESPN, this is the biggest sarcastic clap that you'll ever receive. Well done. Daquan Jeffries has been added on ESPN. Now, in a deeper league, you can go and have a look at him and see if he has some value. Bryn Forbes at number 5. He's a 14 to 16 teamer. Corey Joseph similarly. And then we go down to some real scrubs. Andre Iguodala, Alex Caruso, Aaron Baines, and a bloke by the name of Justin James. No action required on any of those players. Let's now move across, talk some DFS for Friday across the league. All right, let's take a look now. Friday's action. The Warriors and the Magic. Draymond Green, questionable in that game. While we're likely to get the return of James Ennis, he's probable. And Evan Fournier is popped up as probable on the injury report there as well. No James Wiseman, no Kevon Looney for the Warriors. For the Nuggets and the Cavs, that's the second game. There is no Taurean Prince for Cleveland. There's no Larry Nance. There's no Kevin Love. And for the Nuggets, there's no Gary Harris. But we might be getting Will Barton back. Will Barton is questionable. No Paul Millsap either, and JaMychal Green is probable. The Bulls and the Sixers. Chicago has no Markkanen and no Porter. While for the Sixers, Ben Simmons should return, but they're unlikely to get Shake Milton back. He is still doubtful for action. Atlanta and Boston, no change to the Hawks injury report, but Jaylen Brown has popped up for Boston. He's questionable with knee soreness, while Kemba Walker will return. He rested last game, so he should be back in this one. The Suns and the Pelicans, pretty big news in this one with Steven Adams being doubtful, so that opens up value there for Billy Hernan-Gomez for DFS and for fantasy streaming purposes. For Phoenix, no injuries to report as such, but I would expect they might change the starting lineup to try and guard Zion Williamson. The Thunder and the Bucks, Al Horford rested last time for OKC, so he should return. It is a back-to-back for Milwaukee, but just expect the same stuff from them without Drew Holiday. Detroit and Memphis. Detroit, no real injuries that big time. Frank Jackson, Saban Lee, Sekou Doumbouya. But for Memphis, Desmond Bane is off the injury report, but Dylan Brooks is on. He's questionable, and DeAnthony Melton is questionable there as well. So still some shenanigans going on with the wing rotations there for the Grizzlies. The Raptors and the Timberwolves. Toronto, of course, played on Thursday. Whether they do anything to change OG Anunoby's playing time or whether he plays in the back-to-back remains to be seen. Kyle Lowry will remain out, so Van Vliet is going to get that point guard start, but look for more minutes from Malachi Flynn in that scenario. And Malik Beasley should be back starting for the Wolves after that disciplinary benching last game. The Jazz and the Clippers, a ton of guys we need to watch out for here. Mike Conley is questionable for Utah, and for the Clippers, all of these guys are questionable. Luke Kennard, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Nicola Batum. They're all questionable, so they could be getting an influx? That's not the right word. An influx of talent the Clippers could be getting back. So guys like Marcus Morris and Terrence Mann and Amir Coffey and Lou Williams and Reggie Jackson, their roles could be dropping pretty considerably in this one. Guys, that'll do it for me today. Remember, I'll be back tomorrow with a top 20 fantasy players and a what to watch for Saturday. There is my NBA 2K21 rebuild, year 5 of the Orlando Magic. Year 4 went okay. I won't spoil it for you, but you can go check that one out. Year 5 coming up. You'll see that one coming out in the next few hours. So check it out, guys. Subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and on YouTube. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.